What's up, my graphic design friends? My name is Steve Looney from GraphicDesignerTips.com, and this is episode number 6 of my new professional logo design series, where basically what I do is I teach you how to build professional logo designs. That's the name of the series. No, but seriously, compared to my old logo design bootcamp series, those logos were a lot more playful that I did in those series. These are more things that you're going to encounter in the real world and things most likely you are making money from. So I'm going to teach you throughout this whole entire series of things that are going to help you do this the right way and help you make money in the end. But the first thing I want to mention is that there is an extended version of every single episode in my new online course that I've been building. And basically what I do is I go into the back end of the project and I really show you everything that happens. Some projects are easy, some projects are a little bit more complicated, but I talk about things like revisions and sending drafts and just a lot more about the project because that's where you get nervous, dealing with clients and doing all that stuff. That's what I am looking to clear up in this. All right, so All Island Duct Cleaning is a company that provides a service where they clean your ducts, whether they be in your house or your business, to help you breathe a little bit easier, just like the tagline says. Now, going through this logo, there are a couple things I just want to point out. Number one, this company is located on Long Island. Part of what we thought about for the logo, and it didn't turn out 100% like this, but in the initial draft, so you can check out my extended version, it shows this, that we kind of made parts of the logo really do look like Long Island, like the top of here, because Long Island does look like a long fish. So that was one aspect we left in here, but these also signify air flow, air movement. Now, if you're wondering, airflow, wouldn't that be something that would be more like in the blues? Yes, and that was part of the revised drafts too, but basically what happened was my client first of all loves the color red. They also bought a red truck many years ago, so we just decided to stick with the color scheme of red and black. Getting into that color scheme, red and black, most of the times those are standard colors. So when you're going to print and you're doing screen printing, you're not gonna maybe be charged for extra screens or extra exotic colors or anything like that. But some people don't have a problem paying full color prices for everything. We can always juice this logo up. See, that's the thing. Once you have the logo finalized, you can always change it around. If there's another division in the company, All Island something else, it could be a totally different color, but it still has that same feel of what's going on up here. And then, the description in this little area right here. I decided to make this black right here to really separate All Island from anything else. So when you back up, you really see All Island, although duct cleaning is the most important aspect of this. And that's why we knocked it out in white. You're going to see there's a little bit of gradation from black to, maybe an 80% gray here. Same thing with the red. I took the red in the end. I'm going to show you in the tutorial on how to take the red and grade it to a little bit of a darker red just to give it a little bit of a feel. Because every time I send drafts and I tell, and I have versions next to each other, and one version has a gradient like this and the other is flat, they always love the ones with the gradients. And how couldn't you? As long as they're subtle, they stand out and they look a lot nicer. What I did on the left of each word is you're going to see that it actually almost looks like it's three-dimensional, but in actuality, those are just line segments broken off of the letters. I'm going to show you how to do that in this tutorial. So it's not like a 3D effect or anything. It's a very subtle way that I do some type of 3D. It makes it look like it's 3D, but it's really not. This is a well-balanced logo. We have everything basically slanting, and it's basically, you really think about it, the words and the letters are kind of moving with the airflow. If the air is flowing this way, the letters are kind of going that way too. And just to show you, this logo also looks really great in black and white. So it's one of those things you always need to plan for in every logo design. There are a lot of details in this, but you still don't lose them when you turn it to grayscale, basically. In the comments below, let me know what you see about it. And now let's get into Adobe Illustrator CC 2014 and start building it. All right, so now we're in Adobe Illustrator CC 2014. And the very first thing I want to mention is that if you are not up to speed with the programs, first of all, I do suggest you do, especially if you're trying to make money with this stuff, if you're doing this for your business or your company. But if you're not up to speed, it's okay because you can really do what I'm explaining in any version of Illustrator. And if you have any problems, in the comments below, please let me know, and I will definitely assist you with this. At the top, you are going to see the two colors that are part of this logo and their values. So you can now take their values and add them into your swatches so you can follow side by side. And to really follow side by side, in my online course, you are able to download every single vector from every episode in this series. So you'll be able to work side by side with this exact logo to see how I actually built it and finalized it. What's also really great about this tutorial is the fact that, and I forgot to mention this in the critique of the logo, is that the two fonts in this logo are Impact and Times New Roman, which we pretty much all have. So you're looking at All Island saying to yourself probably, wow, that's Impact? Yeah, it is Impact. And Impact does not have an italics version, but I'm going to show you how to do an effect on it to make it slant to either the left or the right. So in some cases, you do not have a version of a font that is bold or italic, and they do that for a reason, because a lot of times it doesn't look right like that. But in this case, this looks perfect. So you're gonna see All Island Duck Cleaning. That's all in Impact, and the tagline is in Times New Roman for right now. But in many cases, the tagline is not even on here on the logo. So, but just for the purpose of this tutorial, I wanted to include that in here. So what we first want to do is we want to come up to our type tool and we want to type out All Island, and we're going to hit escape, and I'm going to scale that up a little bit, and I'm just going to actually scale it to the same height as this so we can kind of make it a little bit easier to follow along. All right, so I made this about, it's about 68 points. It's huge, but we're going to eventually scale this down at the end. What you want to do is you want to now come into your scale tool, which is over here. And if you hold it down, you're going to see a couple different options. You want to pick the tool that says shear, and you want to now click, hold down, and hold down shift, because if you don't hold on shift, this is going to happen. All right, so you want to hold down shift. All right, and you're just going to pull that over like so. I'm now going to actually pull this on top of my old one because I kind of want to see if it's any bit close. All right, you know what? That is close enough, and I am happy with that. What I now want to do is I am actually going to come into my object and go to expand, okay? Because right now it's showing it as it was showing it as physical text, a physical font that had an effect on it. So what I now did was I created this into actual shapes. So this is actual shapes. It's not reading as a font anymore, and I'm able to put the subtle gradient in here, and I'm able to do things with the points later on. What we now want to do is I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to click on my pen tool, which is right in here, or P on the keyboard, and I'm going to click a point right here at the corner of the A. I'm going to I'm basically creating that black shape underneath. All right, we're going to click this D right here, and we're going to now click, and we're going to back up. We're going to hold this point. All right, now if you ever see this happen, you see this big black box that's happening, the reason is because you're making this path and you got a fill in here. If you do not like how that looks, you can come into the fill and you can turn it none right there, and it's going to make it just transparent for right now. And we're now going to come up here and we're going to do that last point. What I now want to do is I want to come down here, and we're always going to mess with this later, all right? And I'm just going to come down here, and I'm actually making this wrong on purpose, right? Because we're going to fix it. We're going to fill it with black. What I now want to do is, let's start right over here. I want to get the same angle of the A to be right here. So what you can do is, you can do a few things, but what I really want to do is I want to make a line segment because it's pretty quick. I'm going to pull that line segment along the A. All right. I'm going to fill it with, say, red for now. And I'm going to make it really thin. I'm now going to come into my points, and I'm going to click this point right here. I'm going to pull that in. I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to now take this point. I'm going to pull that point in. Okay. I'm now going to take this line segment, and I'm going to delete it because I do not need it anymore. All right. You're now going to hit A on your keyboard, and you're going to click, hold down. We're going to select all the bottom points, and we're just going to hit the down arrow on the keyboard to make that thicker. And because I was not thinking, obviously I'm going to have to change my angle again. So I'm going to visually just do this right now. And I know if I pull this up here, okay, it's too much. So let's see, we're gonna pull that back to, all right, not enough. We're gonna pull that over. Yeah, so you can literally just move it on top of it and you'll see, boom, that's basically right on the money. Close enough. All right. You can refine at the end if you want to be, really anal about it. But like I always say, don't refine too much until like the client says they love it. Because if you waste all that time and they say they hate it, then you spent all that time for nothing. They would, clients love anything you throw at them most of the times. I know that's people are going to beat me up for that, but that actually is true. You can make the stupidest thing and a client might actually drop their jaw and go, oh my God, that's amazing. And it really isn't anything special. So let's see, we're going to just augment what I'm doing, I'm sorry, is with the direct selection, I hit A on my keyboard. So you have the white arrow and I'm just messing with the points, these little anchors right here, and the actual, I'm actually changing the shape subtly to get it to where I want it to be. All right, so pull this in a little bit more. I'm gonna pull that back. Okay, it's close enough to where I want it to be for now. All right, so now what you want to do is, again, come into the type tool and type out duct cleaning, all in caps, hit escape to end that text box. I'm going to scale this up just a little bit. Let's see until all right, so let's say we'll do 20 points. And because this isn't the same shape, I'm actually going to make it a little bit smaller. All right, I'm going to fill it with white. And now what I want to do is I want to come into my character and I want to add tracking. So I'm going to hover over here. I'm just going to add a ton of tracking in here. Cool. All right, because you're already noticing my scale is off, and the reasoning is because this black shape that we made over here is not high enough to fit the taller letters, but that's okay. What I now want to do is I'm going to actually pull this all down, and I want to actually draw the shapes that go over here. Now, there was a reason that I drew them a certain way, and I want to just mention that you can basically see how the A, it basically lines up with this, and this basically lines up with the top of the L. Same thing with this L right here. It basically lines up. This could actually be pulled over a little bit more. It's actually a little bit, I got to refine that a little bit. But basically, because it looks better than if it's offset or it's just, it just, you could tell. It looks like it's part of the letters in a way. And I did this in black to kind of break that up. And I kept the red here to keep it going with that, so it kind of makes it look, it breaks everything up, so you're really reading all island. That's the most important thing here. Okay, so what I now want to do is I want to actually, I'm going to zoom in here and you can take a screenshot on my screen, and I'm going to take all this, I'm going to go to object lock selection. You don't have to do that, that's just for me. And I'm going to click the pen tool, boom, I'm going to hold shift when I come here. I'm going to start making this shape. And again, like everything, we're going to have to refine it later. So we're going to go boom. Boom. Click there. It's going to be way too much. Oh, no, we're good. Cool. All right, so you know what? I got another shape here. So I might just stick with this new shape, but we'll see in a second. We will see in a second. All right, what do you guys feel about that shape? Nope, it looks like crap because now it gets thin and then this thing happens right here. So this is where you want to start refining. All right, we're gonna pull this in. Pull that up a little bit. We can't have that happen. See, this is the fun part. Well, it's always the fun part, but making sure your curves don't look funny because your client might notice it, but you know what? You're going to notice it and I'm going to notice it and everybody else that is looking at it, that's an artist, is going to notice it. All right, you see this thing's happening right here. I really don't care for that. Hit Shift C, and we're going to click this point, and we're going to fix that curve right there. All right, cool. Same thing's happening. Not very happy with that. Pull that in a little bit. Cool, that's a lot better. And then we just got to fix this in here. All right, so you get what's going on here. I don't want to spend the whole tutorial fixing that. What I now want to do is I want to come into, again, my pencil or hit P on the keyboard. And I'm going to, you know what, I'm not even going to have to do that. I'll just do it right here. I'm going to click 1, 2, and I'm just going to draw that shape right in here. Too much. All right, so I just want to make sure I follow the contour of the one above it, or the actual direction of it. So let's do this. All right, not bad. Pull that in a little bit more. Oh, my mouse has a low battery. Thank you for letting me know. All right, cool. So that is the shape above. And now what we're going to start doing is we're going to start putting some color in here. And then we're going to do those little accents last. But what we want to do is, okay, so I do this in every logo design pretty much that I do. What I want to do is I want to take my red, all right, so I'm going to add that to my swatches if it's not already in there. I'm just going to click any shape and I'm going to select the gradient. I'm going to pull that red in, right? I'm going to pull it in again at the other side, and then I'm going to add a little bit of black in it, maybe 10% black, something like that. I'm now going to take my gradient and I'm going to pull it, and I'm going to mess around with it. All right? Okay. But now I notice I didn't even put the red in that one. I put it in the other one. So I'm going to select all island. I'm going to hold shift. I'm going to select this piece right here. I'm going to hit I on my keyboard for the eyedropper, and I'm going to select that gradient that I just made. Okay? I am now going to take this gradient, and I am going to fill it with black. All right, dark, 100% black, and then 90% black over here. So I get that effect going on there. And I'm going to hit this element right here. I'm going to hit I on my keyboard for the eyedropper. I'm going to select that. And now we have the black, and then the red, and then the red. We now need to add the accents onto each letter. And what we're going to do is we are going to take the word All Island. We're going to hit Option, click, and we're going to shift it down. And hold shift while you do it so it goes straight down. And what we first have to do in our Pathfinder is we have to click this little options over here and go make this a compound shape. And then we have to expand it again. I know we expanded it earlier, but this is going to allow us to do a specific effect with the Pathfinder, or an action with the Pathfinder that's going to go over every single letter all at once. So what we want to do is, again, we have this all island right here. We're going to hit Option, click, and we're going to hold Shift down, and we're going to move it to the right just a little bit. So now we basically, I wanted to show you what's going on. We have one on top of another, okay? And now we're going to select both of these, and we're going to come up into the minus front option right here, and then voila, we got our little accents right here. We're now going to pull them back up, and we're going to move them off the letters just a little bit to the right. We're going to fill it with white, and we're going to come into our transparency. We're going to make that a little bit lower, say 50% for now. Okay? Cool. And now what you want to do is you want to hit A on your keyboard, and this is where you can come in and refine any and fix any that you see that you might need to fix in this one. In this case, you know, you can even redraw them if you want to. What we're now going to do is we're going to do the two up here. So we're going to go, again, we're going to click them down. We're going to go to Option, click, and we're going to hold Shift and then literally shift it over. We're going to select both of these, go to the minus front. You don't have to make these a compound shape because these are actual shapes already. Although I did, yes, All Island was a shape, and I believe because it came from an original font, that's why I had to do the make compound shape. We're going to hit A on our keyboard. We're going to delete this right here. We're going to delete this little straggly one right there. And again, we're going to select all these, pull them back up, move them to the right just a little bit. Okay. And we're going to go fill it with white and make it 50%. Cool. And then lastly, the same thing down here. And I actually think I drew this in by hand. So we're not going to do that because that's something that by this point you'll be able to do. And lastly, we're going to hit the type tool and we're going to type in breathe a little easier. We're going to hit escape. We're going to take the character. See, it's taking the values from the last thing that we did type-wise, the duct cleaning with all that tracking in there. So we're going to come up here. We're going to set this to 0, and we're going to change that font to times Roman. Okay, actually italics. Excuse me. We're going to scale that up just a little bit, and we are going to add tracking, but not as much as what was in there before. So pull that over a little bit. So it's before the G. And it starts at like the D. All right, so let's do that again. Cool, we're gonna move that down a little bit. And I just put these little lines in here to kind of contain it in there. It's just an effect that you can do on stuff. All right, cool. I'm gonna actually take this whole thing, I'm gonna scale it down just a little bit. Don't worry about having whole numbers for your typography. It's not a big deal. And let's see, we're going to scale that. We're going to shift that down a little bit. And that's it. That's the All Island Duct Cleaning logo in Adobe Illustrator CC 2014. Excuse me. All right, so thanks again for checking out a new video in my new professional logo design series. Let me know in the comments below what you're getting out of these videos. If it's helping you, a good story, maybe how you learned something that you're applying to an actual logo right now and that your client's thrilled. Or you could just say hi. Definitely subscribe to my channel. You can do that by clicking the subscribe button on the screen, so you'll get these videos before anybody else does. And if you're really, really serious about taking your graphic design career to the next level and learning from my experiences and learning how to make a lot of money at this stuff, definitely click the button on the screen to learn more about my new online logo design course, where it's going to have all the extended videos of the videos in this actual series and videos that I've done already about client interaction and all different types of stuff when it's researching for the projects. It's all exclusive content. So it's hours and hours and hours of extra stuff. So more information on that, click on the screen or in the description of the video or on my blog. And I will see you all for the next logo design tutorial. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.